I'm back, and yes, it is the afternoon, and yes, I'm doing a live reaction to the Wolves and Chelsea game. Welcome back, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you're all well. I'm your host, Jem. Let's cue the intro.
Don't know how I'm here, and it's you that I want to need. You feel your heartbeat. You feel somewhere you're looking good. You feel your heartbeat. You feel somewhere you're looking good.
Yes, people, I'm back. What you saying? Bit of a surprise for you, isn't it? Who would have thought I was going to be doing a show at this time in the afternoon? But do you know what? I was sitting there last night, and I was going through Twitter, and I was watching everyone's reaction to us losing yesterday. And I just felt like, you know what? It's time to talk, innit? It's in my head. We need to get it out there. We need to talk. We need to get this loss out of our chest, out of our stomachs. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, why not talk to you guys? You guys air what you think about the game yesterday. Let's just push it. Let's just get it done now. Let's tuck it away and move on to the West Ham game. Anyway, how you all doing? Strip Bears in the house. Winter Surfer is in the house. Jen, why did Zuma show Neto onto his left foot? Brain dead. Do you know what it is? Yeah, with Zuma, he actually isn't very good on a reaction. So if someone's running at him and they're 1-on-1, I feel like he struggles to keep up with someone as quick as Neto, who's good at dribbling. Like it's not his type of game. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Zuma's been playing well up to now. Again, yeah, he could have done better, and he hasn't. We just move on. Yo, AMR. Hope you're good, bro. Did we get sucked into the hype? I think we were all overestimated ourselves. Well, listen. I said that we were going to have these games. We were going to lose a couple of games very soon. It's just a shame that it's happening over Christmas, because Christmas is such an important time where you can accumulate a lot of points. And whoever can put a consistent run of form going into the end of December could really set themselves up going into next year, and excelling on to challenge for titles. Matthew Benjamin, hey bro, hope you are well. Winter Surfer says, need to bench Havertz for the next few games and move Werner to the middle. I agree, bro. I agree. I think Havertz is struggling at the moment, and I don't know whether it's just Havertz because of how we're playing it, if it's the formation, if he's struggling to sort of get control of the game. For me, Havertz needs to play as forward as up the pitch as possible. Like the 2-8s for me, it doesn't seem like it's working for me, and he keeps being dragged out to the wing. And one of the things that gets me at the moment with the way we're playing is that we're playing this formation, and you've got 2-8s, and your 2-8s for me really should be switching, changing, moving around, dragging defenders left, right, forwards. We're just too static. I watched this yesterday. They get the ball, they give it to Reece James, and then they stop. There's no movement. There's no take the ball, make a pass, run off him. Get behind the defence, drag him out. Whoever it is up front, Olivier Giroud, he's not gonna leave people for pace. Giroud's game is to come, meet the ball, and link play. So it's important that Mount and Havertz or Kovacic, whoever's playing in them 8s, makes runs behind him, drag the defenders out. We didn't do any of that yesterday. And I know we keep banging on about wingers. It is important. Yes, I do think we need a winger in January, and it would help. But there's still too much quality in that team to not be beating Wolves and Everton. There's no excuse for me. Do you know what I mean? There was no excuse yesterday for us conceding 2 goals. We were winning 1-0. People say it's Mendy's fault. Let me just get to this as well. People that are shouting out at Mendy as well. Calm yourself. Where was you before he made this mistake against Everton? Do you know what I mean? The Wolves game, for me, both them goals were good goals. He positioned himself correctly. They were just good finishes. Like, what did you guys expect him to do? Do you know what I mean? Like, people need to calm down a bit. I think we're on the level of Southampton, Wolves, Man United, and City. Yeah and no. I think Southampton are just playing absolutely amazing at the moment. Man United could go above us. Let's put it that way. If they If they take their chances, if they win these next two games, they could be ahead of us, guys. You know, they've been better form than us. City is struggling. Strip Bearer do care about reaction. Had a lot of thoughts about it, but concluded that it's a young team and needs time. It's being built for the future. Grow up together and exactly. Strip Bear, appreciate it. Hit the like button, people. Please share, smash, retweet, do whatever you need to do. Appreciate the support. Matthew Benjamin says James was out of position as we were going for the win late. That's why Zuma and Thiago Silva were only back. Yeah. Listen, like I keep saying to you, Neto is a very good player. You leave Neto one-on-one with most defenders, it doesn't matter who they are, you're gonna struggle. And we got caught. Yeah, we got caught. We shouldn't have lost that game. I would have been even happy with a draw, but the fact that we lost it made it worse. You know, we should play a 3-5-2 with Werner and Giroud up front. Potentially, maybe Lampard does need to change it. Like, I don't feel like he's done that enough this season. I can understand why he hasn't changed it. Let me just get it right. I understand why he hasn't changed it, because up to now it's worked. The last two games it hasn't. I feel like the Wolves game, we performed a lot worse than we did in the Everton game. Barring Mendy making that mistake in the Everton game, we would have drew that game. We would never have lost it. We'd never have lost it. But the Wolves game, I feel like we were just dead. It was just poor. For me, it was the poorest game of the season. I've not seen us play any worse in that game. No one was doing what they were supposedly meant to have done all the way through. Man like O'Shea's in the house, coming to probably banter me as well.
What's going on, Jim? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. This is my debut on your channel.
Yeah,
this is mad.
welcome to listen, bro. Honestly, I wasn't even meant to do it right now, and I just thought I've just seen so much shit on Twitter. People going on about mainly about Mendy bringing Kepa back. People going on Lampard. Like, I just don't feel like O'Shea. I feel like fans don't understand their expectations of Lampard. 1 minute they're hot, and the next minute they're very cold. There's never any balance. There's never really an understanding of what you should expect from your manager. Do you get what I mean? And it's starting to
Yeah, I think the issue, Jem, with Chelsea fans is they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they don't really know what they want. Do they want to continue the old Chelsea mentality where if we don't win a trophy within 2 years, we sack the manager? Or do they want to embrace a new sort of mentality, which is what Liverpool's done, where we give the manager 5 years or however long, and we try and build something? And I think a lot of fans are stuck between what they want and what they don't want. I think for me, if I was a Chelsea fan, the best thing would be, I feel bad for Frank, but it's not his fault. You know, what's he supposed to do? Hand in his resignation? It's Roman Abramovich's fault for appointing him in the first place.
Is it though? I mean, you look at when
why take over a team like Chelsea?
Look, you look at when Frank Lampard was appointed. We was in a ban. We lost our best player in Eden Hazard. There was a lot of youngsters that were being accumulated into the first team squad. I know people like, for example, Kai bang on about his winning rate, succession, etc. But do you think that's harsh to compare him against the likes of people like Conte and Mourinho and Ancelotti, where they had, you know, there weren't bans and they had probably better players?
I do think it's unfair, and I think it's unfair for two reasons, Jim. Number one, even if Chelsea had just won a Champions League, Frank Lampard is not qualified enough to take over any club of that stature. Yeah. And as you just said, you guys hadn't just won a Champions League. You were in a very difficult position. And to bring in a manager who's got no experience, to bring him into not only a huge club, but a club where all the pressure is going to be on because it's his club. He's Mr. Chelsea. I just find it very unfair, a lot of the hate and abuse that Lampard gets. However, I do think he needs to leave, but I don't think he should be abused. There's a difference. He shouldn't be abused for it because, of course, he's going to take the job. This get an opportunity again in his life. Of course he's going to take that job. It's Roman Abramovich's fault for appointing him in the first place. Jem, if you're my manager and you put me in the ring with Khabib, it's not my fault. Of course I'm going to take the offer. I'm getting $100 million to fight Khabib on a huge level. It's your fault. Your fault. You know I'm not ready to fight this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? So I do think he needs to leave because I don't think he's going to progress you any further at this moment in time with all the pressure.
I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening now, O'Shea. That's the thing. I feel like I don't judge managers until they get a full season behind them, unless they're Mikel Arteta, where they're completely and utterly just losing every game. Because if Frank Lampard done that, Abramovich wouldn't have it. We know Abramovich has got a ruthlessness about him where if it's not working and it's that bad, he'll get rid of them. I don't think that Lampard will go unless he hasn't had a situation like Arteta's having. I think we should give him to the end of the season.
The question is, Jem, do you want it to get that bad? That's the question. You're saying give him a season, though? But do you want it to get that bad? But it's going that way because look at the last few games.
We were 17 unbeaten. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, where's the balance here with it all? I get
it's even worse. The inconsistency is even worse. Do you wait until it gets to the point where the club is in complete mess, or do you sack him now, bring in an Allegri or a Pochettino or a Nagelsmann or somebody of that caliber, and cut the problem before it spreads?
I just don't think getting rid of Lampard to bring in a Poch or Nagelsmann is the answer. What are you getting from these managers? Other than maybe a bit of a better playing style from Poch. He hasn't won anything, man.
We'll bring in an Allegri then. Bring in an Allegri.
Yeah, well, look, for me, I'd wish we'd go. If Ancelotti was available, I'd say grab him. I know he's at Everton at the moment, but for me, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Ancelotti. But Allegri, yeah, another winner. Could he do it here? Probably. You know, he's good enough, isn't he? You know, he definitely changed the formation and the style that we're currently playing at the moment. I think we jump in the biggest problem I have with our fans is we jump the gun. We go from winning games and we're going to win the league to losing games and get rid of Lampard, Mendy's crap, bring Kepa back. Like, what's going on, man? Like, come on. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no balance in our fan base, and that's where I'm frustrated. But Real Chris is in the house, and he said, "Hey Jim, do you think narrow with two strikers when we don't have wingers? Because I'm sick of seeing Werner on the wing. I think we could play two strikers if we've got injuries to wingers. It's just that I think that what we should do with the midfield is possibly play a diamond. See what I'm saying, O'Shea? So you've got Havertz, Mount, Kovacic, and Kante holding. But it's in a
my biggest issue with this midfield.
Huh?
Sorry, Jim. Yeah. My biggest issue with your midfield is why isn't Havertz and Kovacic playing in front of Kante? Why? Why continue to play Mason Mount? Why continue to play Havertz on the wing? Why he wasn't playing defensively as well against Wolves? And it was like, why are you setting him up in these positions? Play Kovacic and Havertz in front of Kante, and that's arguably the best midfield in the league. Yeah, I understand your injuries up top with Pulisic and Ziyech, and there's not a lot you can really do about that. So maybe you play Mount, Havertz, Kante and Kovacic in a diamond, as you said, and then play Werner and Giroud up top. But
yeah, I hear you. Look, and Zach Ahmed's I think he's a Liverpool fan. Yeah, he's here. He said, "Hi, Jim. This season, it's anyone's game. Teams are losing points where they should be winning. Look at City yesterday, 1-1 with West Brom, and us drawing with Fulham. It's a funny old season," and that is true. That is very, very true. Bits and bobs in the house, cookies, crumbles, Jim. Yeah, I knew he'd be banner in the way. We've got some other people that are going to join us, O'Shea. We've got man like Dan in the house. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm not bad. A little bit annoyed with the whole game yesterday. We've also got man like Prime as well in the house. How you doing, Prime? You good? Yeah, he's gone. Cool.
He's loading him, but he's like buffering 24/7. Like,
he's a nightmare. Can you hear us, Prime? I can't hear you. Yeah, you're muted, bro. Dan, tell us about the game yesterday, bro. Was it as worse as the Everton game, or was it to you worse than the Everton game in terms of performance and style?
Do you know what it is? Yeah, like cool. Let me look at the games in isolation, and then I'll tell you how I'm thinking about it in the grander scheme of things. Yeah. The Everton game I thought was just a blip. Everton getting their fans back, 2,000 fans back, pushing them towards the line. A poor performance from us, no wingers. Obviously, Havertz, Werner didn't really work, and we were kind of lacking in ideas. And really and truly, if you look at the chances we got in the Everton game, on another day, we would have won that game. Do you get what I'm saying? Reece James, that shot goes in. Zuma, right in front of the keeper, left foot sweep. That goes straight at the keeper, either side, that goes in. So when I thought about it, I was like, do you know what? Cool. we were bound to lose a game. Let's now push on and make sure we beat Wolves. And obviously, Wolves are a good team, but they haven't been in the best of form. So then going into the Wolves game now, the way we started already, I knew this wasn't going to be a great game. Slow starts always kill us. From last season, slow starts kill us. We need to start quick. We need to start on the front foot. And the game was there to be done and dusted. 2-0 first half if we took our chances, or if we literally stepped on the gas a little bit more. And it's kind of annoying, really and truly, because when you look at the balance of play, I don't think we deserve to lose. I think a draw would have been a fairer result, but at the same time, look, we can't sit here and start feeling sorry for ourselves, because really and truly, we brought it upon ourselves, in my opinion. And I've been saying, like, look, in my opinion, it's the rival fans that have put the title challenge on us more so than us. For me, I've always said we're not ready. It's the third year. This year, I wanted to see us challenge and then also win a trophy. So obviously, that's looking like the FA Cup, hopefully now. But the third year is the year where it's title or you get sacked kind of thing.
Are you worried? Are you worried about Lampard's form against the top 10 half of the table at the moment, or do you think it's just
I think that
we've got against our name at the moment that
that stat is a nothing stat, because we beat in Crystal Palace drew to Tottenham, Crystal Palace beat Man United, we beat Leeds are a very, very good team, we beat Brighton drew with Liverpool. So people are moving as if we haven't beaten good teams. We've beaten good teams.
Where it will matter though is when you play Liverpool, and when you play Tottenham, and when you play United, and when you play City. Because Leeds are a good team, my friend. Wolves are a good team. But where it matters is when you're playing the big six. That's when it will matter. Because if you drop points against, you've already dropped points against us. If you drop points against us again, and you drop points against Tottenham, and you do it against United and City, that's what 3-6, man. That's 12 points. You don't win the league if you drop 12 points.
Do you know what people have forgotten though? Last year, the same questions about beating the top six were asked of Lampard, and then he went on like a 3-game run from December after the Arsenal win of beating the top six. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you're saying we're not beating the top six, that's one thing. But to say we haven't beaten a top half team, that's just a stat for the people on Twitter to banter, and that's fair enough. Look, I understand the banter. It's like part and parcel of the job. Do you get what I'm saying? However, if we're trying to be realistic about it, and we're talking about winning leagues. Winning leagues isn't only about the beating the top six. It's also about the consistency and results. And right now we don't have consistency. That's the problem with our team. Like,
can I just say? Sorry to cut you off.
No worries.
Can you just go back to that previous comment, because something was said in that comment that I just like to touch on. This comment here. Roman won't invest so much again. And that is I like that, because that is something that Chelsea fans need to understand. If some of these players don't gel, Roman isn't going to spend another 150, 200 million for a good few years now. This is the big bulk of money that you've spent. You may get an Oblak maybe in a couple of years. I don't know, depending on what Mendy does. But if these players do not gel, Roman isn't going to revert to spending more money. He's just going to sack the manager, and he's going to keep doing that.
Money for City. That's the thing. He had money sitting there. He had the Eden Hazard money coming in as well. I know he has spent it, but there's a lot of money accumulated in the first place to use. So I do think we need to go out in January and get a fourth winger, though. I do think we need a fourth winger. However, it's still not an excuse that when you play Everton and Wolves, you should still be beating them teams, because for me, there's too much quality still in that squad, and that's the problem, because they're not ticking at the moment.
And two things, even on that point, I think any manager who comes in with the squad that we have is laughing. Like, this is the perfect squad for any manager. Like, I honestly do believe look, I love Lampard, but I do believe another manager does better in terms of getting consistency out of the players, putting them in the right positions, things like that. Look, the Werner thing as well, obviously, I'm not sure if you've already discussed it, but Werner, Havertz, these guys are going to take time to adjust. I'm not saying they need time. Werner should be finishing chances. He shouldn't be missing sitters. Adjusting doesn't have anything to do with missing sitters. However, he does still need time to adjust. So does Havertz as well. These guys will come good, and I've been consistent with that. I honestly do believe they'll come good.
Dan, do you think... I've seen a lot of crap on Twitter, especially after yesterday's game, and I've seen things like Mendy, he's not any better than Kepa. I've seen the Lampard outers come out again and start showing stats of how Lampard's performed against all of the other Chelsea managers over the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Do you think? For me, I'm starting to think: is it more of a fan problem? Have we got? Is it?
It's arrogance, bro.
We know there's
It's
an issue with the club. Is it more of a fan issue at the moment rather than a club issue where the fans are just jumping on the bandwagon and wanting success so quickly? You know what I mean?
Remember what I said.
It's arrogance, bro. That's what it is. There's two clubs in the Premier League that have the most arrogant fans, yeah? Manchester United, because they still think that they're living in the 90s. They still think that fucking Irwin and Neville play for their club. They still think Fergie's the manager. They're so deluded. And the Chelsea fans as well, not necessarily you guys, but the Chelsea fans have a level of arrogance because you've had this sort of everything handed to you on a plate. If a manager doesn't get another one in and win the trophy, you kind of feel like you're entitled to do that. And that's the problem with Chelsea fans is a sense of entitlement because Roman Abramovich has handed everything to Chelsea on a plate. And I'm not saying you haven't earned anything. Of course, that Champions League win, you earned that. You earned that big time. But, you know, the way you guys have done it, sack a manager, bring another one in, win some trophies. If that doesn't happen, if that's not the routine, Chelsea fans kind of throw their toys out the pram. And that's the big issue.
Yeah, I hear you. Dan, do you want to say anything on that?
Yeah, I think the arrogance thing is a bit unfair because, especially for Chelsea, like our recent history has been good. Like we win trophies every year. That's the expectation. So I guess fans are just measuring the current performances on their expectations of Chelsea. I mean, we've had the year of transition, of trying to like get the squad together and transfer ban and everything. And I'd argue in the most parts, Lampard kind of had a bye season last year. However, you're not going to get 2 bye seasons. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's what it is right now. Look, I'm not Lampard out or anything like that, but I don't think it's a fan problem. Look, fans react to what they see, and of course, some go to the extremes. Some maybe underreact, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the club. It comes down to Frank Lampard putting players in the right position to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position to obviously be successful. And right now, look, the last two games, we had the opportunity to go top. Now, by the end of this game week, we could be 9th, we could be 8th.
And you know what the other thing is as well, right? I feel like we forget. I feel like we forget that when Conte won the league for us, he lost 2 big games against Liverpool and Arsenal back-to-back, 3-0. He made one big change to the squad, and then we ended up going on a mad. I think we won 13 games in a row, and then it ended up us winning the league. Our top managers that have been at Chelsea have lost games, but I just feel like Lampard gets a lot of the heat and stick because he hasn't got background, he hasn't got experience, he hasn't got that title name. So people just, you know, they jump on it more, and that's what we get.
Because the league is different now, Jim. The league is completely different to when Conte was manager at Chelsea. You could get away with it then, whereas now you lose 2 big games to 2 big teams, and that doesn't win you titles. Look, Liverpool, we got slapped 7-2 by Aston Villa, but that doesn't necessarily affect us as much in terms of the league. If we lose to Tottenham today and then we lose to Tottenham again, we're not winning the Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. We're not winning the Premier League. If we lose to Tottenham today and then we lose to you guys at Anfield whenever that game is, we won't win the Premier League. Do you get where I'm coming from? Because you can't afford to be dropping big points against teams that are within 2-3 points.
But at the same time, you play. You know, there's so many other teams you play. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like if you can beat all the other teams but lose to Tottenham and Chelsea, you still it mathematically accumulates to you being up there. O'Shea. That makes sense.
Yeah, but when you're playing these teams like Chelsea and Tottenham that are within 2 points, 1 point of you, and you lose to them, that's where the problem is. If we lose to Sheffield United, that's not going to affect us, right? But if we lose to you or Tottenham, right, when you guys are within a couple points of us, that's where it affects you because you drop points, you pick up points. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, no,
it's hard to make up. Yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to pick up on was Timo Werner, and for me, it was clear and obvious yesterday that he's just not comfortable there. You know, one of the things that really get me with it, and it kept winding me up, the man was in our own penalty box trying to tackle Adama Traore. Timo Werner, who we've signed to be our striker, is turning into like a Aubameyang in the box. We're having the same issue. You've got someone whose strengths are pace and movement, who should be further up the pitch, trying to defend. Do you know what I mean? He's clear that he's not meant to be there. Why is he there?
It's not just that though. He's being utilized as a literally an out and out winger, like literally a midfielder. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's wrong. Like remember in the beginning of the season when we were talking, especially during the West Brom time, I was telling you, I said, and we were on the terrace when we were talking about it, I said, play the best players in the best position. Like Werner needs to be playing up front. It's no coincidence that his best performances this season have been when he's played up front. Like it's not a coincidence. Like I keep saying it. When you want to get results out of your players, when you want to get results for your team, it starts from putting your players in their best position.
I think it's a prime example of when a player playing for. I think it's a prime example of when a player is playing for a club he didn't want to join. You know, his heart was set at Liverpool, his heart was set at Anfield, and he picked his second best.
This age-old argument,
and he doesn't want to be there.
No, it's not even that, man. But it's like, for me, Lampard just needs to do better, man. Lampard needs to do better in terms of that, and needs to make sure that.
Let me just say this quickly, bro. I'm taking the piss with that comment, but you have to sort of, maybe if it's even 2%, there's got to be an element of that in Werner's head, because it wasn't a case of Chelsea and Liverpool for years. He was going to join Liverpool. He wanted to join Liverpool. He begged us to sign him. Klopp is German. He's German. He's got a very good relationship with Klopp, and it was going on for the past 2 years. And then, had we have not done what we did, he would be playing for Liverpool right now. Do you not think that doesn't have an element in his game?
I disagree, man. I disagree, because really and truly, like, you have to look at it like this: Chelsea is still a big club. Yes, Liverpool are the team on top right now, but at the end of the day, it was a project, and that's why him bringing Havertz with him as well. Like, everyone was excited, and it's a project. Like, look at the players we have.
It's not about the project. I'm not talking about Liverpool being on top. Even if Liverpool being on top is not the point. He wanted to
Liverpool being on top. Liverpool being on top is the reason why he wanted to join Liverpool.
But it wasn't just that, though, because he wanted to join Liverpool for the past 2 years, though. This is something that's been going on for 2 years.
But that's because Liverpool have been on top.
We went on top 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we finished. We lost the Champions League final. Yeah, to Real Madrid.
You lost the Champions League final, and I swear you got 97 points. 2 years. That was 2 years ago now.
2 years ago, two seasons ago, we won the Champions League. We're talking about 2 calendar years. This has been going on since 2017, so 3 years actually. If you research it, Klopp
3 years.
Been going on for 3 years. They've been in contact for 3 years. Werner has wanted to play for Liverpool for 3 years. This wasn't a case of we were interested and Chelsea came in and got him. This was going to happen. This was something he wanted. He'd said specifically, publicly, I want to join Liverpool. This is something that we've been talking about for 3 years, and then he doesn't get that move. Do you not think that doesn't affect him in some way? Do you not think he's not going to?
Because when he was scoring and playing well at the beginning of the season, no one was talking about him wanting to go to Liverpool. It's not about that. That's why I think that's just it's a cop out, and really and truly, it's something to appease the Liverpool fans. He's not playing well because he didn't get his move to Liverpool. It's not about that. It's literally not about that, because there's countless of examples of guys who didn't get their first move but are still successful at their second club. Like Kevin De Bruyne has always said that he wanted to come back to Chelsea. He ended up going to Man City, and he's the best player in the league right now. So it's not.
I hear you, Daniel. I hear you, bro. What do you think about this comment? I mean, that Mendy's kept 9 clean sheets in 12 games. I see and hear a lot of people getting on Mendy at the moment. Right?
If you're blaming Mendy for yesterday's game, you don't watch football.
Positionings on the first goal and the second goal were.
The first goal was a deflection off Reece James. That's why he couldn't get it, and he even got a fingertip to it to show that the deflection actually affected it. And the second goal, if you are a keeper and you understand football, you understand that when a player does that, you have to shift to the right slightly so that you cover your near post, and you have to basically say, beat me going across goal. If it went through his legs, fair enough. Like, you know, a bit like when Courtois was letting things go through his legs, we were getting annoyed. That's different. But if it goes across goal, you have to give credit to the attacker. Like, people could score.
You know what I'd do if I was Frank? If people keep on talking about, Mendy, shit, it's just another Kepa. But if I was Frank, I'd go, all right, cool, we'll put Kepa in for 2 games then and see if you still have a problem with Mendy.
No, you won't do that.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm making, bruv. None of that, because all these fans talking about Mendy. Okay, then put Kepa back in net for 2 games and see what you're saying then. Mendy has made a drastic improvement. Even as an outsider, I can see the improvement that Mendy has made. Now, going forward, does he become the permanent Chelsea goalkeeper? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you do go and get Jan Oblak. Who knows? But to say he's the same as Kepa, who's arguably the worst goalkeeper the Premier League has ever seen, is just ridiculous. Because even I can see the improvement since Mendy's come in.
Jem, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, with in regards to Chelsea and why we're not ready to win the league. It's because of little lapses in concentration, like yesterday. Like, when you want to win the league, you need to go out you need to be on the front foot from minute one. Think about the times we've won the league in the past, especially in recent history. It's because we've been the more dominant team, and you can just feel that aura when you go into certain games. Look, I was going into this game nervous. Like we shouldn't be going into these games being nervous about our team, because we know what our team is capable of. Do you get what I'm saying? And right now, the problem is, and the main problem is, which we wanted to avoid by obviously letting go of Hazard and buying all these players, is Ziyech has come out to be our main creator. Playing well, playing bad, Ziyech offers something so different that teams have to adjust.
We're missing it.
You get what I'm saying? And we're missing it right now.
I think Hakim Ziyech, losing him, you can see we lack creativity. It's a big miss, and I don't know. Look, I feel like Mount and Havertz has got a creative side to him. He has. It's just not. We're not getting the best out of him at the moment. Mason Mount should be doing more in the creativity side. Kovacic when he comes on the pitch. All right, we're missing Cho. Pulisic has got a creative side to him, but he offers you something different in terms of he's more direct. I think Pulisic is important because he drags players. He always runs with the ball. So we haven't got many of them type of players that can dribble as well as he does. Timo Werner is playing on the wing, and he's not a dribbler. You're asking him to get the ball and drive at wing backs.
What I think was absurd is they switched wings. That makes made no sense whatsoever.
It killed his game.
And I even thought when they were switching, it was a constant switch and switch, but they didn't even switch. They switched back like in the 89th minute.
Yeah, exactly. Went to surface here. If Roman did not get rid of Sarri after being battered 6-0 by City and 4-0 by Bournemouth, then he ain't going to get rid of losing 2 games. Get rid of Frank for losing 2 games, he's saying, basically. Got a point. We should just finish in top 4 quarterfinals of Euro Champions League and hopefully win maybe an FA Cup. For me, I feel like we need to finish in the top 3, and I feel like we do need to win some kind of trophy. Otherwise, I think Lampard's going to be under scrutiny at the end of the season. Definitely.
And do you know what? Let me respond to Bob's. You know, Bob's is so annoying. I've actually he's an annoying guy. He's a troll on Twitter, and I've taken notice of it. But what I'd say is, it's not even a case of being rattled. I'm just trying to be honest. And the case is right now with Chelsea is that we're frustrated as a fan base, and rightly so. Like, we're allowed to be frustrated because last year as well, it was the December period that kind of messed us up a bit. And now we're going into the December period again with 2 losses on the bounce. And now let me quickly have a look at our next 3 games. We've got
West Ham, Arsenal, and then I think we've got we've got Man City soon, haven't we, as well? In between
so we've got West Ham, Arsenal, and Aston Villa before Man City. So these are not easy games. Do you get what I'm saying? We've got to go out and try and get the killer mentality back because we need to be winning these games.
The biggest thing, and I say it about any team, it's not just Chelsea, it's any team, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United, whoever. You can lose games. It's normal to lose games. But the biggest thing is reaction. It's about a reaction, and it's whether we can react. And that's when you can usually tell whether a manager's going to continue to stay or not, in my honest, because if he can't get them to react, is that you, O'Shea? I think your thing's going funny.
I don't think that's me.
Yeah. For me, we just need to react, bro. We were going to lose games. It's a shame we've lost these 2 games because, in theory, if we'd have won them, we could have maybe pushed ourselves to the top of the league, pulled away. And I think whoever wins it this season, it's going to be down to who can be the most consistent. Definitely, 2 hands down, who can be the most consistent and put in performances as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
I think the expectations. Oh, sorry, Jim. Sorry.
Go on, Shay. Go on, bro.
Yeah, I was just saying. I think the expectations from Chelsea fans have been raised way too high. Because at the end of the day, I know you had a very good season last year, given the tools that you had. But even though you spent 250 million, these players need to gel. Yeah. And the expectation that, we need to win the league this season, I think is ridiculous. I think that's unfair on Frank. I think it's unfair on the players because they've only just been signed and many of them have never even played in England before. So I think next season, maybe you can look at it and go, let's win the league. But this season, I think the expectation is way too high on Frank and on the players.
But bro, this is what you're saying is perfect. Like, it's literally gospel. But rival fans and banter guys don't understand the fact that 200, just because we spent 200 million on our team, that doesn't mean we're supposed to win the league the year everyone gets bought. This isn't a 200 million where we've bought 2 players to complete our team. Remember when Jose Mourinho said we were a little pony in the race, and then he went out and bought Fabregas and Diego Costa? Those guys completed an already built, structured team. Half the guys,
this isn't like every and Van Dijk.
Exactly. Every single player we bought came into our lineup. That shows something. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we've got time. We need time to gel. Like, these players need to gel. Like, deep it. Mendy comes into the team, starts straight away. Ziyech comes into the team, he starts straight away. Werner comes in, he starts straight away. Havertz comes in, he starts straight away. Thiago Silva comes in, he starts straight away. Chilwell comes in, he starts straight away. We have 6 players, over half the team came in this season and start straight away in our team, just to show how not bad, but how weak our squad was the prior season. So look, they need time to gel. So you need to make sure that you give them time to gel if you're trying to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, I hear you. We have got Monster here as well. Monster, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I want to ask the question, because I keep seeing this. Can someone tell me what Mendy did wrong? Like, what mistake did Mendy make? Why is people?
I've seen it all over Twitter.
I watched both goals again, and the first goal, it took a deflection off Reece James's thigh. How is he supposed to get there? Number one. The second goal, my man hits it straight past him, bruv. Yeah, across the face of goal. He did what he needed to do, which was cover his near post. Yeah. There's no one there.
Beat me on the far post. Beat me on the far post. Fam,
he even tried to get a foot there. So I want to know what Mendy did wrong. I genuinely want to know.
I saw on Twitter, Monster, there was one lady and she was saying, and I'm not joking, she said Kepa needs to come back into the team. I'm not joking. That's what she said, right?
That person's a clown.
When we questioned it, she said that Mendy's positioning yesterday for both goals was wrong. Now, one of them was a deflection. The first goal was a deflection. The second goal, for me, he couldn't have done any more in terms of positioning himself. Yeah, it was just Azuma got done, and it was a good hard shot across the end of the net. So, is it? Are they just being too harsh on him? I think they are. I don't understand how.
The thing is, people want Superman in goal, innit? They see Jan Oblak is doing this and that. They want that in it. A certain person, he just wants to sound right. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I know who I know you know who I'm talking about, Jem. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that Mendy did anything wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong. And another thing about Chelsea is they are so reliant on Hakim Ziyech. They've got no other outlet. If Hakim Ziyech is not playing, there's nothing else. And I'm tired of hearing the excuse of, Ziyech ain't playing, so we're not going to play well. Why, as Chelsea FC, are we relying on one person to do everything for us?
We've done it before, bro. Eden Hazard.
We're going back to the Eden Hazard days where we have to freaking depend on one guy to do everything. I thought we moved away from that. I thought we have.
No, but one thing you need to understand as well is that, and I think people are failing to understand, is that especially in this day and age, like with all our podcasts and with the media, and I've explained it a lot, like we live in a toxic environment now when it comes to football, where everyone is watching football. Do you get what I'm saying? Everyone's watching football. Everyone from their 2-year-old son to everyone with a Twitter account, every banter page, every meme page. Either you're watching the game, or like I see people who don't even watch the game, but they just follow the trend of Twitter and start commenting on what they think is happening and say, Havertz is playing bad, and they see a couple Havertz bad tweets. And this is the point. This is the wider point now. Let's look at Havertz. When Pogba was playing bad for Man United, let's understand especially Pogba when he had COVID was terrible, as in he was looking shocking, as in absolutely bad. Havertz pre-COVID wasn't looking slow or lethargic. He was progressive. He was gaining a bit more confidence. And then suddenly he gets COVID and we're like, flip's sake, like he's going to be out for a couple games. And now he's come back, and Lampard has already explained that it's affected him. Look, we have a lot of problems where with our team right now, just as I explained with the new guys who have come in, if these new guys get injured, the squad that replaces these players isn't the greatest, and that is the problem now. The system that is being implemented, where we're literally relying on a certain individual or one or two players. Like, there needs to be a system where anyone can be creating. Like, of course, Mount has had a decent season, but I think Mount needs to create more. Kovacic has been playing well, but I think he still needs to create more. Like, these guys are our centre mids. These guys are the guys, are our eights, like we call them in our system. They need to do more. And right now, the only person who can hold their head up high in that Chelsea team, in my opinion, is Reece James and Kante. Only two guys.
What about Thiago Silva? Are you bugging?
No, of course. But I'm saying outstanding. Thiago Silva's been a calming presence. Like, great.
Can I just say, right, this comment from Brazzy, right? I was stressing this yesterday on the terrace as well, and I also
100%.
said this as well. This is one of the biggest issues that we have at the moment, is that we're playing a 4-3-3 where we've got 2 8s that are too static and are not moving. Yeah, you've got Giroud, who's not going to run behind defenders because he hasn't got the pace. So what Giroud will do is, he'll win into the mode. The 2 8s have got to make runs behind. You know what I mean? We're not stretching teams enough. We're too obvious when you watch us play at the moment. It's too slow. Kai's in with us as well. Bits and bobs.
Guys,
How you doing, bro?
how you doing, guys? You all right? You all right? Daniel, you all right, son?
I'm good, mate. How you doing, Bob?
I'm cool, man. Cool. Listen, guys, do you know what, yeah? Look.
You guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
Kai,
I can.
So basically, shout out O'Shea, man. That is O'Shea, yeah?
I shake it. Yeah.
So, do you know what, yeah? Look, obviously, I was very quick with the trigger fingers on Twitter, yeah? Obviously, I troll you, man. But I only troll the guys that I'm friends with and I like. So if I message you after you lose, it's not because...
And that's why I air you. That's why I air you.
but like, if we're talking football, look, I think what Jem, me and you have spoken about this before. Like, what people need to realize that like teams are going to lose games. And Daniel, you said something that's so important. Football now is so toxic. Do you remember a few years ago, or back in the day, even Daniel? I know you're young, but you know when you just watch football? Oh, we got beat. How did you get beat? You spoke about it. That was it. There was no agenda. There was no propaganda or nothing. I just feel now like there's so many eyes on football now.
No, but that's what I was telling you. That's what I was basically explaining.
And like now, yeah, for me as a Man United fan, I said this right on Usman's channel. I said we could win the league, and they all laughed at me. And the reason I said that was because every team is going to lose games at some crucial point this season.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you don't accept that, then I think you're deluded. And that's not me saying any of you guys are deluded. I'm just saying in general, because this season is probably never ever going to happen again. COVID's not a joke, by the way. Look at the players that have had it and came back, struggled to get full fitness. I just think that what Daniel said, I agree that we live in a toxic generation where like we're waiting. As soon as that whistle goes, we're at you. And it's like, allow them to digest the game. Allow them to, to accept what's happened. And I just think that, do you know what the worst thing is? It's because it's back to back. I think that's the only.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's the only alarming thing. Now, as a Man United fan, this is just normal. So when I see you guys happen, I'm just like, oh well, they're just as bad as us. But you need to remember, you guys have bought players, right? And this is where I think the generation has changed. And let me not say the generation, but everyone's different, yeah. Just because Chelsea bought all these players, okay, doesn't mean they're going to win the league. It's not like FIFA when you buy all these players and boom, you know what I mean?
Bro, wait. Can I quickly reply to Prime? I saw you adding. I think it was Will or someone's comments on what's it called on Twitter. You might not have said Mendy was at fault, but you're liking those tweets were implying that Mendy was at fault. Like, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about, bro.
That's a sackable offense, man.
You know what I'm talking about. I saw you liking these tweets. I saw you liking the tweets, bro. Yeah, go on, Bob. Go on.
We know.
So basically, like, sorry, Jim. I'll be real quick. So I just think what we need to remember is just that, like, you've got so many players, right? And like it's going to take time to gel. And you can see this is why I always bigged up Lampard over Ole and Arteta, because Lampard's very honest. He illustrates what he needs and illustrates what has to be done, and he doesn't give a BS answer or anything. He says it how it is. And I just think for me, he just got it wrong. That was it. Like seriously, you got it wrong. You got beat. You move, and it's just interesting how. There's the Lampard out, Lampard in, and there's the Mendy agenda. I said this to Daniel. As soon as Mendy, there's a suspect of Mendy being suspect, the fans are going to get at him. 100%.
Yeah, but it's pathetic. On Twitter, shouting out for Kepa to come back over is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
do you know what I mean?
Can I just say though,
That's
the
what
one,
you guys before, yeah.
the one criticism I have of Lampard, is that Lampard told us in a press conference he plays players based on merit,
which is BS. It's BS,
and he has not played players based on merit. And I'm gonna point out where he's told a lie on that. Kai Havertz was not supposed to come in on that game yesterday.
No,
Mateo Kovacic has not done anything to be dropped. Yeah, if we're talking about based on merit, innit?
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
That's one thing. He said he plays players based on merit. Not once, whenever Callum Hudson-Odoi performed, not once he got a start. Every time he's got dropped straight after out of the complete squad in the Premier League. Yeah,
Monster. Look at the one time Hudson-Odoi started the Premier League game. It was when transfer window was open. Bayern Munich wanted him. Played against Crystal Palace. We win that game 4-0. Hudson-Odoi doesn't get another start this season. It's not a coincidence.
Not only that, Tomori performed well against Liverpool based on what do you call it? He would have probably started. We did lose that game, but when he came on, he was excellent. I don't even think you lot scored when he came on.
Yeah.
Lost the game, no fan.
Yeah.
No.
But you're not
He's
hearing
based
what
on
I'm saying.
performance.
Based on performance, based on merit, he's supposed to be starting over Christensen or whatever. Until this day, since that Liverpool game, he hasn't even gotten a look in. So I want to know where he's playing players based on merit. I still.
What is your back two though? What is your back two? If all players are fit, I know
Silva and Zuma, but I'm saying based on merit, if those two are not playing, like we saw in the Champions League, every single game where those two didn't play, Tomori did he even get on the bench? Or am I bugging?
Bro, he doesn't even get in the squad.
Nah, he's not like Tomori. Let's just get that right. He's not. Tomori's definitely not going to be playing this season, unfortunately. And
that's the thing I'm saying. I'm just saying.
In agreement then, yeah. Frank KKK Lampard, yeah.
No. Stop it.
Oh shit,
That's mad.
But listen, gentlemen, I'm going to head. I've got to go do some work. Thanks for letting me on. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, guys. And man, listen, look, all jokes aside, man, your next game you're probably going to win. So
West Ham and Arsenal are two next games. We need to win.
I think the West Ham game will be tough, but quality should prevail, if I'm honest. And Lampard will be desperate to get a win. So yeah, I think
Prime, stop lying. Prime, you are very passive aggressive, bro. Stop. You know what you were doing. Hold on.
Prime, if you wanna, why you keep typing in the chat? Just come up here.
You know what you was doing when you was liking those pictures.
Gentlemen, take care. Have a good day, okay?
Speak to you all in the future. Come on, you're on it. Prime, why are you in the chat when I gave you the link? You was here earlier.
I honestly don't like.
No, he might.
How you guys doing?
He might be at work, but I'm just saying he knew what he was. He knew what he was doing when he liked that picture.
Let me just say this, Monster.
Bro, Mendy is like the least of our problems. He's like the least of our problems.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, man, he's the least of our problems. Monster, I sent you the thing with the heat maps, like where Kai Havertz and Werner are playing in our current system. And basically, yeah, I put that down to their form, but I also give it down to the instructions they're given. Because if you look at their game, it's obviously they've been said to do something specific. If you look at Werner, if you look at the heat maps from the game against Wolves alone, the entire time he was touching the byline, man. He was out wide and he would sometimes come inside, which doesn't work. Let's be honest. Werner, he has a lot of pluses, but dribbling and beating players, that's not his talent. You know what I mean? And as soon as if we keep playing not to our players' strength, we're not gonna succeed. We're gonna fail. And I hope it's because of injuries and it's not because of Lampard not rating them in those positions, because what we're going to do, we have two young guys and we need to understand that young guys, they lose confidence quite fast. You know what I mean? So I don't want us to get to that position. I want to start seeing, the one thing about Conte is when he failed 2 games in a row, he changed everything. And I want to see that similar approach from Lampard.
Yeah, because I want to see some flexibility.
I wanted to, because right now, I'll be honest with you. You guys know my opinion. I am not convinced with Lampard, and I want him to prove me wrong because I want him to succeed. But so far, all I've seen is stubbornness. All I've seen is stubbornness. It's basically replacing Jorginho for Mount. That's all I've been seeing.
You know
That's
what?
the
Yeah, I'm not
difference
trying to
with
stir
Sarri and
the
Mourinho
pot.
to me,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not trying to stir the pot. But if you man lose to Arsenal, yeah, this is a relegation team. You know, team that's 15th in the league, the worst
don't-
team in the league right now. If you man lose to Arsenal,
No.
oh my gosh. Ah,
Bro, I'm doing an Igad watch along on his channel, man.
But
If
yeah,
we lose to Arsenal, I'm not gonna hear the end of it. Man.
look, this is what it is, yeah, and it's something that Kai said that I really, really agree with. Right now, for me, obviously, Jem, I know you love Lampard, and of course, we all want him to succeed. Any true Chelsea fan wants him to succeed, innit? But right now, I'm in the boat here where I'm not convinced, but I want to be wrong about Lampard. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I want him to be the manager for us going forward. However, as of right now, I'm not convinced, and that's just based on the fact that I've seen certain trends that I think. Obviously, yeah, we think we know football. We're obviously giving our opinions, but I've seen certain trends that I think should have been stamped out already. Like, it shouldn't be in the players again. Like, the fact that we're going through the same period at the same point last season, yeah, literally Christmas is where things started to fall apart after our nice little run. The same thing is happening again. We're playing West Ham. We're playing Arsenal again.
Dangerous time.
It's just dangerous, man. It's a dangerous period, man. And I'm just worried, like, because now if you go into West Ham and don't get full points, what happens then? Like, we could be the one in the bottom half of the table after just being fourth.
As it stands,
Oh, I think his career would be in danger. His time at Chelsea would be in danger if he loses another game.
As it stands,
no, man.
As it stands with all them teams now, if they do the teams behind us, a lot of them, if they win their outstanding games, they're all going on top of us, which means we could end up 8th or 9th if they all win their outstanding games.
It's very tight. From top to 10th, I think it's mad at the moment. But look, with Frank Lampard, I've told Kai this in the chat already. A lot of people think that I'm just pro, I want Lampard to,
like a fangirl chasing him, loving him.
Yeah. I think I've been misunderstood, and it's not that I don't want him. It's not that I don't think he can do a job. I just look at it as he needs to be given a full season. Unless he goes through a crap patch like what Arteta is, which then I know Roman Abramovich will sack him because he won't allow it anyway. We've got to give him time. And for me, look, there's nothing wrong with Kai thinking that Lampard's not the man for the job. He might be right. He might be right. I'm not saying that.
Jem, this is the issue. This is the issue.
Jim, can I say? I didn't say that. I just said I haven't been convinced by him. I don't think he's right or wrong.
This is the issue that you have. One second, let me just jump in and say this. This is the issue that you have, though, Jim. Right? I understand you want to give him time, but there's a saying, you cut the rot before it spreads. Now, I've said to Kai yesterday, I don't think it's Frank Lampard's fault, but it doesn't help the situation. It's not his fault he was employed at Chelsea. It's not his fault that he's not qualified enough to do this job. It's not his fault that he's not good enough as a manager and doesn't have enough experience to do this job. But what you can't do is just wait for it to get that bad. Do you want to wait for it to get that bad until he is like an Arteta? Or do you just get rid of him now and bring in an Allegri or bring in whoever, top manager?
I don't want Allegri, man. That would ruin the new player of the players that we have, the quality. I wouldn't bring him.
Losing 2 games. It's not going to happen. It's not. Yeah. He's going to be here. I think he's going to be here till the end of the season. And then at the end of the season, we evaluate what he's done, where he is in the league, if we won any trophies. And then you go from there. But when we lose, what gets me is when we lose a game and then we're all talking about him just failing and, and it's the end of Lampard.
It's very similar to the Everton one. I think that's why the reaction of many fans was very annoyed. It's because it was very similar to the way that we lost to Everton. We were doing the exact same thing. Am I wrong, Mansa? Are we doing the exact same thing?
He's not changing up. He's not switching things up. You have to switch things up.
I agree with that. I think the games were different. I don't think the games were the same. I think the games were 2 different games when you look at how it played out. But I get what you're saying in the terms of the formation, that he didn't change it. He played Werner on the wing, for example. Like, that didn't work. I hear that. You know what I mean? But
and also, last point, Jim. Sorry, because I will forget it. You know me, I'll forget. So the only reason it's a friend of mine said, like, he told me, like, really, really good point about Lampard. He said, I would give him time as long as top 4 isn't in danger. Because I think for us right now, regressing out of the Champions League is something that we cannot withstand. Being in the Europa League again. Because if you remember the season that we were outside of the Europa League, financially it hit us hard, man. I think it was like 70 million something loss. And I don't think Roman will, especially after investing this. So I would give him time as long as we're within reach of Champions League football. But if we are like 6, 7, 8 points far away from Champions League football, then we're just gonna waste.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with everything you say. That's the main thing. It's just that I feel like I'm not ready to sit here and be fully out. Being out of Lampard. I just want to see.
No, but I'm the same as you. I'm not fully out. I just don't want us to keep doing the same mistake and us lose the whole purpose of the season, which is to maintain our progress. You know what I mean?
I hear that. Yeah, I hear that. What about this then? Anyway, is Ziyech back for the next game? I don't think he's confirmed yet.
I think so. Luckily, the game is on Mondays.
No, I don't think he said Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi will train this week, but he's doubtful.
He said about the training.
Prime's having massive arguments in the group chat where he's talking to this guy here saying, how do I have an agenda against Mendy though? Any player that plays for Chelsea, I want them to succeed.
Bro, just come on the chat. Why are you writing, man? It's like chatting with my girlfriend, man. Just come and talk.
He might be at work. All I'm saying is, bro, I'm saying, bro, when you're liking certain things, I'm not saying you're not allowed to. Obviously, everyone has a right to do whatever they want, innit? But you've said, in fact, you've even said you think Mendy is a fraud. You said that on the Tottenham preview I did, innit? And then when someone's tweeting out something and you're liking and commenting in a way that leans towards Mendy's a fraud, that means you clearly have.
He's the least of our problems, Mendy, man. The least of our problems.
That's what I'm saying. You can't tell me, like he said in the chat, he said the comment he liked has nothing to do with it. Bro, the comment said that, it exactly said that, and you liked the comment, bro. I know what I saw. And
this is even my thing. Like Winter Surfer said something here. I honestly have never seen or heard Prime say this. He did question Mendy after Everton mistake, as did I. Question. No, but that's even my thing. Like now, players can't even make mistakes. Mendy's been so good. The first time he makes a mistake, people are asking questions. Why is that the case? Like
that's not the reason. That's not the reason we lost the game against Everton. We lost the game against Everton. We weren't good. And when we are hiding against, I don't want us to be Arsenal and hide behind referee, about referee decisions. We were not good at that game, and even if we still got a goal, it still would be a draw. And
people are moving. Everton scored a well-worked goal that people are forgetting. Mendy made 2 good saves from Richarlison, where really and truly Richarlison should have scored those 2 like one-on-ones from the angle on his left foot. Like all this. We got a question, man. Look, if a player makes a mistake, if you're asking questions straight away, then boy, you're not for the player. You're just you're being reactionary.
The only game that I excuse us for is the Liverpool game. We literally had none of our players fit, none of our attackers fit. We had to do something. We had to use of what we had, and we didn't even. And we had a red card very early in the game. But that is the one result. But the last 2 results, it could have been easily avoided if we kind of tailor the system around that.
My thing is, why are we not preparing for the situations where Ziyech might not be fit? Why are we not preparing for this? Why does one man being missing have to stifle a whole team?
It shouldn't do. There's too much quality in that squad. Yeah, no, I agree. There's too much quality in the squad. And this is my next question to all 3 of you, starting with Daniel. What do we need to do to get back into form, and what would you change?
We need to adapt. Adapt is the word.
Prime, stop it, bro. Stop it.
Let's just focus on our discussion. It's wasting time just answering to.
Go on, Dan. I'm going to go to Dan first, and then we'll go down to Monster.
It's literally adapts. The word is adapts. Like I find it bemusing for me when I watch Lampard use the same tactics with the same batch of players that are available to him. You know you don't have wingers. Tell me a team who plays the 4-3-3 and doesn't use wingers in that formation. You're using makeshift wingers in that formation. It doesn't work. You look at Pulisic, who just coming back from injury, really and truly, in my honest opinion, if we were playing well, Pulisic doesn't even need to play 90 minutes in that game. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's literally, it comes from not adapting, not being able to adapt to the situation, to this, like this throwing on Tammy at 60, 65 minutes, 68 minutes when we're losing or we're drawing the game to save the game. It's nonsense. There's no thought process to the substitutions. Look at the substitutions.
Substitution.
Exactly. Family. Look at the substitutions for the last couple of games. It's been like for like, the same guys coming on. no change in what they do. We play we play long balls to Tammy Abraham as if he's supposed to flick them on like he's Dominic Calvert-Lewin or something. Like it just shows me that if plan A doesn't go to plan, everything just goes to smoke. And that comes from not being able to adapt to the squad that you have and the batch of players that are currently available to you. Like we need to look, West Ham for me is a must-win, man. Or I'll lose it, man. I'll lose it.
Arsenal for me is a must-win as well, man.
Arsenal as well, yeah. The next 2 games are must-win games. That's in 6 points. As in, I want nothing less.
The thing is, I would just say that
Go on, Monster, sure. You answer.
Lampard, he's really struggled, man. Like, I don't know. He's to me personally. I know people don't think so, but to me personally, I think he's been found out. Like, I don't think.
And that's when a good manager, you can see a good manager. Once you're found out, you find a way out of it. You know what I mean?
Because even with Ziyech, we were one-dimensional. It was that going down that right-hand side, and what Mourinho managed to snuff it out by crowding that area. He had about 4 or 5 players. Whenever we go to the right-hand side, he would have 4 or 5 players crowd in that area. Makes it easier for teams to nullify us, and that's what happens, isn't it? And we need to find other ways to play.
What can he do to improve that? Like, how can Frank solve what with the squad we got? We should be doing a lot.
Work on some combinations or something. Work on something else. Like, start producing things from midfield.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you this, bro. I'm not the manager.
No, of course. Yeah.
Listen, people. I got to get out of there, though, man. I got to go do something.
Go on, bro.
You take care, Monster.
No worries.
You know what it is? For me, Antonio Conte said it perfectly. To build a good system, you need to make it like a tailor. You have to tailor a nice shirt around you. You know, you shouldn't tailor that yourself for the shirt. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. I think a good manager has to get the best out of the players that he has, which is why. And to people, I don't want to be the face of the Lampard out brigade. I don't want you to perceive me as that, because everybody who knows me knows I'm a big fan of Lampard when he was a player.
Yeah, but you're a fan of Chelsea Football Club first.
So I'm not happy with the result we're seeing. Like the win rate for us is something like ridiculous, like 52, something like this, 50%. And for me, it's not good enough for Chelsea. And you know what it is with it. And another point Winter Surfer made is we need to realize that Mendy is not a Courtois. He's not a Peter Cech. But he's a damn good goalkeeper, though, and he's gonna make mistakes. We can't expect him to be on the level of these guys, but he's still a much better keeper than Kepa. And we need to, not like, and the same thing with Havertz. We can't just stand on our players and just, every mistake we just single them out, because at the end of the day they're human like us. Havertz is just turned 21 years old. He got back from COVID, and my uncle had COVID, and he said that shit is painful, man. Like your lungs can barely breathe, your respiratory system barely works. Yeah, go ahead, John.
I think Kai, just to quickly say, just thinking that with Havertz, yes, he's got COVID, and yes, I think more so it's just to do with his price tag. It just allows rivals to banter him because he's cost so much, and he's going to have this problem until he can. Even if he was performing, say he was performing to the highest level for Chelsea, and he had that one bad or 2 bad games in a row, they would still jump on it. I just feel like with Kai Havertz, he's going to have that problem throughout his whole career at Chelsea, until he's consistent in his performances. Do you know what I mean? So it's just frustrating with him, and the same with Timo Werner, because he's came over with this, not as a big price tag, but he scored so many goals in the Bundesliga. People are expecting him to come here and do it, and because he ain't doing that, it's like, see, he's not as good as you think he is. Do you know what I mean? So
my second criticism, and it's not only to Chelsea, to not only to Lampard, it's the Chelsea board in general. Yeah. We shouldn't have been chasing Declan Rice's ass till the end of the window. We should have looked at our squad and seen that we have only 3 wingers in a long-ass season with 4 different competitions. We needed that third winger, We needed one, and instead we just chased a DM. DM is the least of our problems because we have a lot of players that can play in that position. But recent form proved that Werner just cannot play I love Werner, but if either not play him or play him as a winger, I'd rather not play him at all. That's how ineffective I think he is.
I agree.
And I think we are wasting time. If we are not going to play the best get the best out of our players and tailor a system around getting the best out of players, then let's not play them, because those young guys, they will lose confidence and they will just be useless going forward, and that's just a loss of investment.
I agree, bro, and I think you're making a lot of sense. I think with Timo Werner, if we're not going to play him in position, don't play him at all, and it's just not fair on him. He's, I said it earlier. I see him yesterday trying to tackle Traore in our own box, trying to defend next to Chilwell. It's like, what is he doing there? What is he doing?
Bro, I don't know if I showed you this, but we had I showed Monster this heat maps of where Werner was positioned, and most of it he was positioned way out wide. I don't know if it's instructions or his individual ability to play on the wing is not good enough, but it has to change. I don't. And Hadoi, man, I'm not the biggest fan of Hadoi, but I would rather have him than have Mount on the wing, who's a midfielder, or Werner as a striker.
Why?
And Hadoi hasn't been bad, Just Lampard, please, man, just use our squad to its full capacity. It's a really good squad that we have to believe in.
The reason you want Cho out there, and I agree with you 100%, is because Timo Werner's not a bliming dribbler. He can't dribble.
I would rather have a Doyle over Werner on the wing. Then.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no point in playing someone who hasn't got that ability to do that. Do you know what I mean? But just quickly, going on to this, can you guys predict the Chelsea next 5 games? Who we got? West Ham, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Man City. I don't like predicting scores, but we can say win or loses if you want, to be honest. Starting with Dan. Dan, West Ham, do you think we can win? Or lose? Are we going to lose?
Based on how we play.
Look, boy.
Got to win,
I don't know, man. We have to win, innit? That's the problem. If I'm trying to be realistic, the reason why I'm saying we have to win is because, this league, it's gonna take longer for the league to separate out, but the league will separate out in January. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be January, and we're sitting in 8th, and we're 7 points behind 4th place. And we're basically chasing now for the rest of the season. You don't want that scenario. That's why West Ham is a must-win. That's why Arsenal is a must-win. Do you get what I'm saying? Remember when I don't know. I think, we spoke about the Everton game briefly, and I said to you, the reason why I'm not too bothered about the Everton loss is because the Wolves game is so quick to come around the corner, and we're going to win that and push on. And that doesn't happen. Now we've put so much pressure on ourselves where we have to go into that West Ham game and not drop points. Even the know-how, even if we're not going to win the Wolves game, don't concede in the last minute. Get that point and move on. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we could have won that Wolves game. We were leading,
100%.
we were comfortable, and then we just let go of the fucking pedal, man. We just completely stopped. And it's worrying. It's don't these players have motivations? Don't they want to be league winners? What is Lampard telling them, Imagine if we had Conte and we played like this in the first half, man, on his first season. Each of them is getting clapped in the back of the head, man.
Yeah.
Well, so I think we've got to beat West Ham. I think Arsenal is another game we've got to win on Boxing Day.
What I'll say is West Ham win. Of course, I'm being optimistic in it, but West Ham win, Chelsea win. I mean, win against Arsenal. Win against Villa. I'll say draw versus City.
Yeah.
And then the last game is, I believe, is Fulham. So I'll say, we've got to win. Yeah, we've got to win that. We have to.
What? Comments like this, Jim. Even if Werner played striker yesterday, the result would have been the same. He's
a Liverpool fan, man. He's a Liverpool fan.
Okay.
So what do you expect him to? He's gonna say that. but you know what it is. I'm gonna give you predictions based on if we're gonna have wingers and a striker, or if we're just gonna have players out of position. If we're gonna have players out of position, we're gonna get 2 draws and 1 win, which the win is gonna be against Arsenal. Because I do truly think that we play well against Arsenal due to the motivation of it being a derby. And if we do have wingers, I think our next 3 games are winnable. I think we have a good enough squad to do it, and we just need to do something. Lampard need to do something different. Change the things, change the system a little bit, Yeah. Because right now we're just crossing inshallah, man. Crossing inshallah. That's basically what we're doing. And
so I feel this game is just one that we've just got to sweep it under the mat.
We gotta destroy them from the beginning. From the beginning, just go. Don't waste time. After we're 2 or 3-0, then you can start resting and try to control the game. But the problem with us is we're losing, and then we start pressing, which is insane.
I agree. I think changes need to be made to the squad. I feel like right now, hopefully everyone's going to be back fully fit. I want to see Lampard adapt some different ideas. He didn't. One thing I would say about his press conference after the game, he looked very pissed off about how we played in that game, and he wasn't happy with the players. He made it very clear, and I like to see that because it shows that he's not deluded and he's just sitting in his world and just saying, "Oh well, we dominated the game, but we were just unlucky." Because then
bro, against Everton, he was laughing. I was so triggered, man. He was smiling to John. I was so triggered, man.
Nah, he was pissed against Wolves. He said the players have developed. He basically said the players have developed a bit of an arrogance that as if they've won. Yeah, and just because they went on a good run of form, and he spoke well, man. It's true because we're seeing that there was a bit of arrogance with the Wolves game. The fact that we started so slow in the first half, Wolves were there for the taking. If we put our foot on the gas, and we just didn't do that, man. But on to West Ham, man.
Yeah, and I want us to play for wins. No more fucking draws. Mourinho said it perfectly when he first came in. He says the difference between a draw and a loss is 1 point.
Yeah.
1 point is not fucking good enough, man. We need to go into every game from now till Christmas. That should be like our short-term goal, to go to every game until the end of the year, just destroying teams, winning, improving our goal difference, winning, because we have very winnable games. City looking like crap lately.
Yeah, I agree.
We can beat them if we play well. So let's do it.
Wait, let's do it. And Kai says it right there. Let's do it. I mean, look, Mr. R says, Jem, let's be real. Both these games we had chances to win, even with the wrong positions. For me, it's a mentality issue. Is it a mentality issue, or is it just Lampard getting his tactics wrong? You think?
I think it's a combination of both. I think the players are mentally not happy playing the way that they're playing now. If you look at Werner's body language, if you look at Havertz's body language, even if you look at Kante's kind of, I don't know. There's something with the players that they just don't look happy playing this system. So I would say both system and mentality, because I agree with him to the point that the player weren't given their all, Giroud was nullified and he didn't try to get out of it, and it's just man, it's getting me depressed every time I think, because you know me, Jim, you know me when we lose how my mood is. I cannot even talk to my girl. My dad calls me, I shut down the phone. I just don't want to talk to anybody, man.
Cool.
It's depressed me.
Ted wants to jump in as well. He said, wait out for 5 minutes. So he's another Chelsea fan. I know you and him, Kai, were having a bit of a debate earlier on, back and forward. So he wants to. No, I didn't have a debate with him. It's just he was saying that I am fishing, and you know me, Jim. I never fish. I always say my opinion. I don't filter it. So that opinion kind of triggered me. But other than that, I have no issue with the guy. Yeah, we'll tie it up in about. Well, we'll wait for him to come on, and then we'll tie it up then after. But I'm just going to read some of the chats out because they're going mad at the moment. All right, Dan, you got to go.
Yeah.
Got to shoot, bro.
Take care,
do
bro.
your thing.
Nice
talking to you,
worries.
Nice talking to you, Kai.
Thanks
See
for
you
coming on.
later, John. Cheers.
Bro. Kai, so let's quickly just run through some of these because they're going mad in the chat at the moment. So let's have a look at Mr. R. They went 16 games unbeaten and thought they were okay to win. They get so nervous when we concede and stopped the intensity. I don't know what he's referring to.
You remember the end of last season, how well we responded to going one down. We would press. Something is not right, man. Like Lampard need to have a team meeting with the players. They said like, hey, what do you guys like and don't like? Just like you do in business, like sometimes whenever you're not reaching your goals and your targets, you go to the team and you say, what's the issue, guys? Why aren't we reaching the goals that we want to reach? Is there something you don't like? They need to be more open. They need to say to him. I don't know if they're doing it or not, because I feel there's disconnect between them and us, and man, it feels like a little bit,
Yeah, no, Kai, look,
me
and you don't disagree. I think some people think that me and you got different points of views. It's not that we've got different points of views. It's just that we see the same. We both see the same outcome about what we want for the club. It's just that I'm more willing to give someone a bit more time. As with you're set in stone that you believe that it's not going to work, and you're not confident in him. But
but I'm still giving him time. Still giving him time. I want to be fair to him, because I do think it's hard to gel a team together that you just built, because we had a lot of players come in, but defeats on a back-to-back as well. Like as long as I'm very disappointed with the 12 losses last season. I was very upset about it. And a lot of people were accepting it. I cannot accept 12 defeats in the season. I'm sorry, I cannot.
Yeah, I agree. Matthew Benjamin's here says Kanté and James have been our best players against Everton and Wolves. Do you agree with that, Kai, or do you think they've just all been bad, basic? No big
I
talent?
think Kante, James, and Pulisic has been are the only players that actually played well.
Got another question for you, Kai. Kai, is UEFA rigged?
No, we're just unlucky. You know, remember last season who we got? We didn't get that hard of a draw. You know, I don't think
Yeah.
I think we're just unlucky this season. And we might be lucky. If we beat Athletic, we might get an easier team in the next round.
Yeah.
No.
And look, you're a bit like me. I actually want us to play the better teams. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in the knockouts and play all these crap teams and get to a final, which what David wants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel
No,
like that.
that's the beauty of the champ. Why do we wait for Champions League every week? In order for us to see big teams play against each other. I don't want to see like West Brom versus against Norwich, quality football. What's the point of it? It's not the Champions League then.
Yeah, exactly. Crimes here. Jem, Frank needs a backup way of playing when our wingers are out. Probably, I agree. What about playing? I was thinking about it, Kai. What about if we played two up front and then played a diamond in midfield with Kante holding and then Kovacic, Mount, and Havertz playing as like at the tip of it?
Bro, for me, wingers, they make football for me. I'm a big fan of like wingers.
The reason I said, do you remember when we used to play under diamond with Ballack?
Yeah. But that's different team, man. That's the midfield was powerful, man. When we have Ballack himself can control the midfield by himself. But we shouldn't be at a position that we don't have any wingers.
Yeah.
That is something that we should sort out in the window. Luckily for us, January is coming in. And there's a lot of options for the wing, man, that we can acquire, you know. So I just people say, oh, we need to find a formation when we don't have wingers. We shouldn't be at the position of not having wingers. We're a top club, man. We need at least one more wingers, man. We'll be fine. And if Lampard doesn't like Odoi, then loan him out and get us someone else. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, don't leave us cut off from options just because you don't like a player, man.
Chelsea need Eric Ten Hag ASAP. He can play the 4-2-3-1/4-3-3. Is it? I mean,
for me, the only manager I'll take is Enrique because he has experience. I wouldn't take just somebody from Ajax because unless it's a last resort. Because I don't want a situation like United. We're like 8 years in the process. After that, man.
There you go. Indiana's in the house. Kai is Lampard out. Imagine if he was a United fan.
I have good taste in things, man. Why the F would I be a United fan, man?
Oh dear. What else we got? Strip Bear is in the house. We will orbit Big Sam. The grabbing.
Imagine if Big Sam had the Chelsea squad, man. He will bet against him, man. Isn't that why he got kicked out of the England thing?
Yeah.
It's the fact that he bet against. Oh my god, man.
Right, let's see what this says here. Velvet, this is a Liverpool fan. Chelsea fans, don't you ever put Chilwell in the same breath as Robertson. We don't care about your team, bruv.
I never put Robertson in the same level as Alphonso Davies, man. But you still do, so there you go, man.
Yeah.
Each fan, they big up their players. Doesn't just subjectivity. What you think?
Yeah, exactly. Breaking news: West Brom sacked Bilic.
It was early in the morning,
man. Samuel says exactly. Jem said, I said that monster stream. You need to change up the formation. There was something that I wanted to just include. Ches, this had Ches in. We've got Ches in the house. Yes, Ches, what you saying, brother?
What are you saying, Jem? What are you saying, Kai?
Welcome to GNA TV, bro. Making your debut on here.
Time.
Listen, we're talking about the Wolves game. We're talking about Lampard being inept. We're talking about Mendy on Twitter. People moaning about Mendy as a goalie. Werner in his positions. What do you think about it? Are Chelsea fans overreacting again with both the games?
Oh, first of all, safe having me on, Jem. And shout out Kai as well. Boy, the Mendy thing I do here only because Kepa's so bad. An upgrade on Mendy upgrade on Kepa isn't hard. But at the same time, he's kept bare clean sheets, and that stability between Thiago Silva, Zuma, and him, the French connection clearly comes through. So I won't be too harsh on him. On the Everton and Wolves game, the Everton game wasn't as bad as the Wolves game, but had similar kind of patterns in play in terms of we weren't creating enough through the middle. It's just going through the width and just crossing it in. I don't know why. Maybe because Jude's informed me thinks that it's going to work. It happened in the Wolves game It was sustainable. We didn't create anything for in the middle, and it's overall poor. On Werner, I'm not very impressed with him, even though, Indiana was like, oh, he's playing on the wing, he's still having the chances. To some extent, I do agree with that. Like, do you know what I mean, Jem? Like, how yesterday he couldn't string a pass together. Do you mind watch the whole game? I watched him literally, he couldn't do a 2-yard pass.
Yeah.
He was doing the basics wrong. You know that the cross went in the far post, and he tried touching it down with his foot to the headering it. It's little things like that. It's kind of poor. And him and Havertz.
We were just too slow, bro. And I said it yesterday on the terrace as well. And we can't play that formation if we're not going to have people making movements. And if you've got 2 8s playing, they've got to run behind the strikers. They've got to drag people out of positions. We're too static. We're too obvious to play against. It doesn't matter if it was Wolves, blimmin' Burnley, blimmin' West Brom. We are easy to play against when we do not move, when we just stand there and we just go sideways, backwards. We're not doing enough.
And one thing, what's the reason why that's happening? Because one player's out, Hakim Ziyech.
Yeah.
When he's out, so if you notice, Jem, what game was it? Was it the Leeds game? When he used to pick up the ball and straight away his first thought is trying to find that runner in. And these runners are coming from deep and they're coming from the width as well. So it kind of opens us up as well. And it's less predictable in terms of Ziyech will do the crosses in and the cut in, and the Pulisic is more direct. So it's different.
You know what, Chess? I would put it more toward the fact that we don't have any natural wingers than it is to Ziyech. Because even before Ziyech, we were still winning. We were in a winning streak without Ziyech. Yeah. I think it's just the fact that we don't have any wingers. And playing Werner there is like playing one man down.
No, facts. Because he's not... Although he drifts from the left, starting him on the left is completely different. People don't understand that. They think, it's the same. No, it's not the same.
I understand, man. It's a
you have to trap back and things like that. Like, he's not used to doing that per se. Like Leipzig play 5 at the back. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's completely different.
Do you think it's just I know we ain't, but do you think Chelsea fans are looking into these 2 games too much, and it's just a blip, and we're going to get over this eventually based upon our performances before the 2 games that we lost? Like, do you think we can regain that? If we can regain that, what changes do we need to make as well?
I think time to what we said in the group chat earlier of us 3. I think that's exactly why we need to see how Lampard reacts from this. This now is the perfect opportunity for us to see how good this team actually is and how good Lampard actually is. This is the perfect chance. We've lost 2 games, played terribly in both. I'll say Everton 5. Yesterday was like a 2.
It's the worst game of the season for me.
Yeah, we haven't played at the band in a long time. I didn't think last season we had poor games like that. I know we lost at home and stuff, but that was poor. And West Ham is a derby game, so it's a good opportunity to bounce back.
We've got to win. We've got to beat West Ham. We've got to beat Arsenal. We've got to beat Aston Villa just before we go into the game against Man City, which is at the beginning of January. They're the 3 games that we've really got to really knuckle down and get some.
And them 4 games are tough, They're tough games.
Are they? I mean, look at Arsenal. They're not in the best of fortune.
The next 3 are easy. The only one that's kind of dodgy is the City one, because you don't know which city is going to turn up, and it's away as well.
But the thing is, Everton hadn't won a game, I think, in like 6. Wolves hadn't won a game in 2. So I don't really, the things with the Premier League, especially this season, I don't really look at form too much anymore.
But that's because of us, man. Because we weren't good enough.
Exactly. We're easy to play against. So it's like,
What I'm worried about.
We need to fix.
Go on, Kai.
I just think we are losing motivation in the wrong effing time, man. Because now we have a game twice a week, and if we're gonna keep dropping points left or right, you're gonna blink and we're already way behind. It's gonna be hard. And people are saying, but everybody dropping point, which is even harder, because if everybody keep dropping point, which will just mean that the top 4 will be much more difficult to get. Because last year, other than us and United, nobody was playing for Champions League. Spurs were behind, Arsenal were behind. It basically like a 3-man 3-team competition for 3rd and 4th. But right now it's not the case. Every team looks good other than Arsenal, but Arsenal is basically.
And also, Kai, based on that point, what I told my friend earlier is that last season there was less competition for the places we're going for, and we still struggled. And this season, you could finish 6th and be 4 points behind 2nd, but the difference is we still finish 6th. So I won't even say that argument myself. If we are 2 points off 2nd, and we finish 5th, for example, I would still be very disappointed. I wouldn't say,
You
context.
imagine how Roman would be, man, if you were
Do
disappointed.
you know what I mean? Exactly. So like, that's why like I don't care if the points tally is 2-point difference or 20-point difference. I want us to get top 3. Like I want us to just
Yeah,
to
but
show.
we need to get the points, man. We need to get the points in order to get the.
Look, if Frank Lampard gets to the end of the season and he doesn't get top 3, he doesn't win something, anything. I think he's going to be under pressure massively with Roman. I think he could get away with not winning a trophy if he finishes in the top 2. In my eyes, if he finishes in the top 2 and we're not far away, I think he would get away with it because he'd look at it as, hang on, it's an improvement to last year. Last year we were 33 points behind Liverpool. That's a big gap to catch up with.
But the caveat, Tim, the caveat is, we are Chelsea. And Kai said to me earlier, like, it's kind of true. I don't want to be an Arsenal situation. I know not the same situation, but what I'm talking about is I don't want our expectations to drop because of one manager. But I do want us to give him time. So I don't want our expectations to drop too low. Like, we should get top 4, top 3. But at the same time, he has to win something, like you just said. Like, he kind of has to, or top 2 minimum. If he doesn't, then that is poor in terms of his management and in terms of Chelsea standards. Do you get what I mean?
You know what? If he doesn't, then I am almost 100% sure that either Roman, Maria, or who do we have? Like Bruce Buck, right?
Yeah,
he's gonna meet him in the tunnel, man. He's gonna give him Ancelotti treatment, man. Because people don't understand. If we did this to Mourinho and the way that we let go of Mourinho, man, I wouldn't doubt that we do it to Lampard as well. People who think that Roman won't do it to Lampard because he's a legend, is there honestly a bigger legend than Mourinho as far as achievement for Chelsea?
The thing is with Lampard is he's appointing him knowing this could happen now. Like, he's not a stupid man. Like, if we all appointed an inexperienced person we own a business, right? You put an inexperienced player, you're going to expect mistakes. And the whole point is that you're supposed to learn. So at the same time, I do agree with that a little bit. But not fully,
Look, Chase, you can lose games. It's normal. It's Chelsea's time. We've just got to take it on the chin. I'll guarantee Tottenham will lose games. I guarantee Liverpool will lose games. Kai, you're confident your starting 11 could beat Az? That's a Liverpool fan asking you that question.
Who's Pyres, man? I don't know what Pyres is.
Saying Az. He's saying Az. He's meant to say Az, wasn't he? Basically, he's a Liverpool fan. So he's asking you, Chelsea's 11 against Liverpool's best 11. You think Chelsea can beat them?
If you're best 11, I do think so. Yes, I think 100%. Our team is really underrated, man.
Big up KJ is in the house. Arsenal judge will kick it in if you guys keep piling the banter on them.
Bro, I'm having a watch along with on Igal's channel that day, man. So Chelsea,
I'm telling you, don't feel confident. We were all confident. I saw in the preview. I didn't get to do it. Jem, was you on it? Neaton, I was like, it's gonna be easy when against Everton. We flopped.
Probably.
Imagine we lose against Arsenal, man. Them. I'll be pissed.
Oh man, we lose my head.
That's we're banter club. That makes us a banter club. It actually does.
The only good thing that both Ziyech and Odoi will be back by then.
Can you imagine Igal if we lose to him? He will not go.
Jesus Christ. I can see it. We were so bad, but we still beat you guys. It's gonna be so exciting.
We beat them away with a worse team last season. And we didn't even play well against them last season away. We didn't play well.
Yeah, that would be worse.
It's degrading. To lose to Arsenal is degrading, man. It really is degrading. I would rather lose to West Ham than lose to Arsenal. Man.
Nah, facts. Not Arsenal, man.
Especially with everyone slapping them as well. Like, imagine it's typical us, wouldn't it? They're getting slapped by every other team. Chelsea can't against them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Jim.
And for Lampard's sake, I want us to beat them like 4-0, man. 4-0, man. I want to beat them 4-0. You know why? So DT will eat his words for what he said about Lampard, man.
No, we have to get him on that. We have to see where Chelsea go first. Then we keep the smack. Right now, we're not even that well. We can end up 9th today, you know. We could actually end up 9th.
Yeah, look, but that's the difference between 1st and 9th, though. It's really we could be in 9th, and in the next minute we could be like 1st. It's so weird. Like, I've never seen such a tight Premier League.
But if you look at the top 2, they're already starting to kind of.
That's the thing. If Tottenham win today. Terry said he wanted Tottenham to win over Liverpool. I don't agree with that.
I want them both to lose, man. But Klopp has a fucking big mouth, man. I hope Mourinho shuts it.
I want to draw. I think we need to draw.
So for us.
Big up Samuel is in the house. I think that not you guys, Chelsea fan, overhyped the team in the beginning. That's why you're getting this reaction for these losses. However, as Jem said, these losses will happen. Yeah, it's true, bro.
Yeah.
Big up Stephen, who's in the chat. He's asked us to join his watch along. He's an Arsenal fan, so yeah, he's got his own channel.
Bro,
Big up to him.
Will DT after the game on the terrace? I think Terry told us that he has something in his contract that he cannot join the same day Arsenal are playing. I'm not sure though.
What?
Chiz, you need to pray that Arsenal keep Arteta for the Chelsea game. Got everything told there.
I hope so.
Kai, will DT come after the game on the terrace?
Just answered it.
Yeah, all right. Cool. I mean, look, boys, I think we summed it up. Hour and a half.
You man, after all, don't. It's a good song.
We have got people saying, "Can we have the link so we can have our word?" But guys, I've been in there for an hour and a half. I meant to do an hour and a half show. You know what? I'll drop it in there quickly. A quick 10 minutes. Come on, in, let's go. I think as I'm not.
Is it rival fans?
Indiana wants to join. O'Shea's here. Indiana, what you saying, bro?
O'Shea's always here, man.
Jim, you'll have to give me like 30 seconds for the StreamYard to sort itself out.
Go on, bro,
Happens to me as well all the time. It's so annoying.
Let's quickly just give 10 minutes to people to jump.
You're using your phone, Indiana. Maybe that's why, yeah? Or using your computer.
No. It's good now. I can hear you. What are you saying?
Cool. I said, are you using your computer or your phone?
Using my phone, but it's the same on the computer. It's exactly the same. Maybe I need to use a different email address or something.
Samuel in the house as well. Boys, what do you want to say? Go on, let's have a quick 10-minute chat about whatever you want. Go. You're going to talk about Chelsea?
Firstly, Lampard, like, you can't be Lampard out right now. You know what he is? He's an inexperienced manager with a load of new players in. I think he's been doing a pretty good job, to be honest. Like, yeah, don't be Lampard out right now. Wait till the end of the season and then assess it. Like, Roman's not going to bring in Frank Lampard unless there's a plan there. Like, he's been an owner for too long now and seen success too many times to want
Is
to
there
fail.
such a thing, though? Too much success? I don't think that's a
You're
thing.
talking to a Man United fan, so no, there isn't. But
There you go, man. There is no such thing. And especially when you achieve that success doing a certain way, you know, and then you see something that isn't working and you're just going to revert back to what you used to do. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, though. He's trying to change, Kai. That's the whole point. This is the reason why.
I don't. But how do you know that he doesn't give interviews, man? The man is more.
He would appoint Lampard and
man.
expect him to win a Premier League title. No way. There's definitely a plan. He would not back him this way if there was no plan. There's no way.
Yeah, but he sacked Conte, man, after winning the.
No, I was discussing about this yesterday, and I said, listen, if Lampard doesn't get at least top 3, he's gonna go. He's gonna go.
I agree.
Because Chelsea have standards. Let's not like, yes, you're in a transitional period.
We're gonna end up like Manchester United in the process for like 8 years, bro.
No,
you're never going to be that much.
God forbid, man. God forbid.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but like Chelsea, I banter you guys a lot. Obviously, you're my rivals, but like, you have standards. You're not gonna Abramovich, that owner is probably one of the most ruthless owners in world football today. He's not gonna drop his standards. He spent
he's like a mafia don in the football world. It's
exactly.
You're getting taken out.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. He won't take Lampard out. You know, send some guy, you know, with a napkin, you know. have him in a van somewhere, you know.
Guys, you thought about this way too much, guy.
It's like, Lampard, you lose too many games against Aston Villa. You lose games against Everton. You lose games against Wolves. It's time for you to say bye-bye.
Can we just, before we shoot off, can we just share a thought?
Kai is doing his natural accent there.
I knew you were going to say that shit.
Boys, can we just spare a thought for a man like a gal?
Hugo, is there anything about Burnley this weekend that makes you worried or concerned about them getting points against you?
Why would I be worried about that? You need to send me that link, man. You need to send me that link.
Boys,
I'm gonna play it.
You know what? Yeah, yesterday.
I'm gonna play it.
I was on his stream yesterday. That was the first time I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, but no. I don't feel sorry for him. He gave all this chat about Lampard and that, and Arsenal, and now it's thrown back in his face. He wants to cry. This is why people should stay humble in the first place. I don't feel sorry for no one. I don't feel sorry for no one.
Boys, we've got to tie it up, man. We've been here I've nearly been here for over an hour and a half now. It's only meant to be an hour show.
I gotta do some actual work as well.
I appreciate you coming on. It was a bit random. I wasn't meant to do an afternoon show, but I think I might do more of them actually. They seem to be quite fun actually. So yeah. Shout out your socials, Kai. You've got a YouTube channel. Where can they find you, bro?
Yeah, you can find me on No Filter Football KH and on the Football Terrace. Not as regularly as I would like to, but I still come there sometime.
He's back. Ches, where can people
Football
find you?
Terrace and Twitter and Instagram, Chesx1 and Chesy_English.
Wicked, bro. O'Shea.
Yeah, you can catch me in your girls' yard now. Catch me at ShayJ_O and on the Football Terrace.
O'Shea, man. Indiana.
Yeah, the First XI YouTube channel and First XI_TV, and obviously we're all on the Football Terrace from time to time. If you haven't subscribed or check that channel out, where have you been? Like, what's going on? Subscribe to all of these people as well and go and follow them. Come on.
And no, honestly, big up to Indiana. He's first 11 show. I mean that Ford watch, man. Honestly, you guys, you're in for a treat. Honestly, the way he's thought of that, and it's completely out of. Well, it's still within football.
Yeah, the fraud watch, man.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And big up to Indiana for that.
Big up to Indiana.
There's the people on it, man. I appreciate that.
Daniel,
his opinions might be dead, but Indiana is a good content creator, man.
Yeah. Where can you find you, Samuel?
Big up Indiana, man. Big up Indiana.
Listen, I don't have anything right now. I'm just floating in the air. You just might catch me here or there on the Football Terrace, but it is what it is. I'm always on YouTube, so you will just find me on the Football Tennis anyway.
Don't forget to add Crybaby Liverpool fan as well.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again? Yeah, say that again?
I appreciate you guys coming on. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you very, very soon.
It's like it's playtime and it's free time. In the dance, they have to take a glance, we stepping out the